So we mentioned the issue with looking at your food label and how important it is to understand not only the nutrition content of the particular food you're buying, but also the ingredients of that particular food. And so I mentioned a couple of things specifically in that one objective, and those two things were high fructose corn syrup and trans fats. So you might be saying to yourself, okay, John, well, that sounds great, but why are these foods or why are these ingredients important for me to not only look for, but then to understand what that relationship to those foods is with my current health status? Well, what we're finding out through the research is that high fructose corn syrup can predispose you to diabetes. And now we know that we have not only an epidemic of diabetes in the US, but it's really growing worldwide. So we have roughly 25 to 30 million people who already have diabetes in the United States. And we have another 80 million people who are what we call in this zone of being pre-diabetic or having metabolic syndrome. So we're talking almost a third of our nation is now either diabetic or on the way to becoming diabetic. So that's a very important aspect of considering any food that you may purchase that has high fructose corn syrup in it, and I would strongly encourage you not to do that. The second one is trans fat. Why is trans fat so crucial to understanding and then recognizing to not also eat that in your food? Well, trans fat is fat that's been modified chemically with hydrogen, and it becomes a solid. And so companies use trans fat to be longer on the shelf, so they increase storage life on the shelf, but also they're very cheap to make. So as companies always look for ways to reduce their costs, trans fat has been something that they've used for now many, many years to help, again, preserve shelf life and also to make their costs go down. Well, unfortunately, what we're now discovering is that trans fats are actually quite carcinogenic. So not only are they contributing to this growth that we continue dealing with, not only in the United States, but worldwide, globally really, in cancers, we also know that trans fats, because they are so inflammatory, they're linked to cardiovascular disease as well. So again, these are two very important ingredients in our food that hopefully over time we will get smart as a species, as a society, and get rid of completely. But for now, I strongly encourage you to look for foods that do not have high fructose corn syrup and trans fat because of their link to these chronic diseases.